YouTube, it's your boy FPL man, and I'm back here with a brand new video. Unfortunately, I got some bad news to share. It's been a minute, and I think I've finally come to terms with it. You know, there are times where you have to admit where you made a mistake, and I think this is one of those times. And I have unfortunately did make a big mistake in keeping the Earl of Norway in my team for that long, and I think it's finally time, boys, where we go our separate ways. It's been a long time. I'm gonna have to see you again, my friend. The Earl of Norway, ladies and gentlemen, has been transferred out from my team. Yes, it has happened. I know no one thought it was impossible, but it has happened. I've taken the Earl of Norway out. Spoiler alert, it has happened. So let's dive in to Game Week 13, team selection, transfer plans, and all the shebang. So there you have it. Absolute horror show. 35 points. 7.9k old rank to new rank, 54k in the world. I mean, my Lord have mercy. It doesn't get any bigger than that. The fattest arrow I've got in 2024. It's ridiculous. I know the rank doesn't mean too much because it's still early in the season, but it slowly start to matter, and it will get harder as the time goes to climb rank. I mean, even if I put the rank aside, on paper, the team going into Game Week 12, I did not envision this, bro. Like Rogers, Semenyo, Mbeumo, Palmer. My Lord have mercy. And don't get me started on the freaking Earl of Norway. Only 2 points. With captaincy 4 points. Another blank. Versus man like Dragon and Davis at the back. After all the faith I've kept in the Earl of Norway. After I captained him versus Brighton and he flopped. I said, nah. Versus Spurs without Romero and Van de Ven, he's gonna cook. I did a thread. I was leading the pack. But the Earl of Norway let me down, man. Another blank. And a big fat arrow to come along with it. And I've only had basically 2 returns out of my whole squad. You know, Mr. Reliable Gabriel, you know, saved me once again. Right? Well, he didn't even save me like, well, it's something. He protected me somewhat because I would have been in 100k right now. I mean, Salah. Listen, I knew I was taking the risk, but I didn't expect it to be this much of a flop, man. I didn't expect freaking Mbeumo, Semenyo, Rogers, Palmer, all of them to blank. I mean, on Raul, oh my God, did I not make a massive mistake selling the lap? That was a shocker of a transfer. He missed an absolute sitter. Semenyo, he had 1 billion chances, he couldn't convert one. And he came out with a yellow card, and now he's suspended for the game week 13. This guy, I kept the faith in him for a long time too. But guess what? What does he do in return? Another blank? Like, bro. Like, this is unacceptable, man. Like, when you get a game week like this, you normally say, you know what? You know, it's just a one bad week. But I don't think this is it. I don't think this is the case. I don't think this is an optimal team, man. Like, I think my premium strategy has failed. And I have to be honest, it has not worked out. Especially with the Erling Haaland, man. It didn't work out, bro. Like, and City getting absolute baptized by a team called Feyenoord in the Champions League as well. They were up 3-0 and they freaking bottled it. They came back and it's 3-3. Although Haaland scored 2 goals and you braced, but that doesn't mean nothing because this guy's not scoring in the Premier League, bro. And KDB was benched again. So there is no sign of KDB. There's no Rodri coming back. City looks depleted. Pep is, you know, literally harming himself. He said in the interview after the post-match in the Champions League, he said, I want to harm myself. And he literally scratched the hell out of his face. Like, he's losing it. Like, I don't know how City comes back. Even if they do come back, I don't know how Haaland actually gets any productive returns when the team is struggling this bad. City's practically has no defense. And going into game week 14 is basically, or 13, is basically Salah cap all over again. And you go against him, you might get punished. Like, shocker of a game week, man. Absolute shocker. And who would have thought Konate would get freaking 0 points versus Southampton? Like, who would have thought? It's ridiculous. Listen, I want to end my rant now, man. Like, there's not much to talk about. Salah destroyed me again. Haaland blank as usual. Like, you got man like Cunha outscoring Haaland by 40 points. Cunha, The Brazilian R9 now. Bro, we got a guy that just came from injury, Pedro. He's outscoring Haaland in 60 minutes. Guys, something has to change, man. Like, I don't think I can sustain another week like this and still be able to compete if I want to have any chance of winning FPL or even get a good finish, like in the top 100k, 10k, whatever. So, I want to end my rant here. Horrible week, not much to say. Let's move on to my transfer plan because I'm looking to make some serious changes. As I said in my intro, guys, um, I'm done. I'm done with Haaland, bro. Like, I'm actually done. There is no, like, I don't see any hope. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, this is it. This is where we part ways. Like, I've had him from game week 1. I literally planned my whole team around to keep him. I bought in the likes of Rogers, Semenyo, like Raul, all these budget options to be able to enable him. I saw Trent to keep him just for him to keep on, blanking. Like, I know what the stats guys are going to say. Oh, the numbers are there. The chances are there. He's bound to get his return. He's bound to get his return. But I'm sorry, I'm just falling too behind. I can't rely on him to come back. When you have guys like Pedro, Jackson, Cunha, who significantly cost less, like they're like half the price, are outscoring week in, week out. It's unacceptable, bro. Like, I can't. So as you guys can see, guys, I've taken like a -4 hit to take out the Earl of Norway, and I bought in Michael Jackson. Jackson looks amazing, guys. I mean, if you watch the round two report, I already mentioned it. The guy's getting so many chances. He's good on the feet. He's improved his finishing this season as well. And you got the likes of Palmer, Madueke, Neto, Enzo. So much world-class quality in that team that's providing the service to a striker. Even though he might be a bit of a minutes risk, but I don't even consider minutes risk. As long as he's getting 60, 70 minutes, like good 70 minutes, he can come away with a return. And for his price, that's enough. As long as he gets a goal and an assist, that's enough. And they have an amazing fixture coming up, which I'll get to on the next slide. So the Earl of Norway has to go for Michael Jackson. I can't wait to do the moonwalk when Jackson scores, bro. Like the Earl of Norway, I couldn't celebrate nothing but misery. So it's time to go, man. It's time to go. Like, there's no other way to say it. It breaks my heart because I couldn't follow through with my plan, which I had for a long term, that I was going to keep the 3-man structure. But, like, there are some occasions where you have to admit that you're wrong, And this is one situation where I was wrong about Haaland, I guess, And I guess he's not worth the money that he is. Like, it's suboptimal. Like, I guess the content creators are right about Haaland, man. Like, some of them were saying it. Like, having Erling Haaland is suboptimal. And I have to admit it. Like, there's only, like, enough. How many more chances am I going to give him? It's been 7 game weeks. Like, 5.6 points just does not justify his price tag, bro. And I'm captaining him for a gain as well, and I'm not getting anything. That's enough on Haaland. He's gone. Jackson coming in with great fixtures. I do think that he has a great upside versus the upcoming fixtures, the likes of Villa, who play a high line, and I think he's going to run behind. You got Palmer giving him service. So yeah. And then obviously you got Raul. It's a pathetic transfer, absolute pathetic. He had to go. Sick and tired of him. I don't care if he has Spurs next. He's gone. Pedro, insane form right now. He came back from injury. He's a bit of a minutes risk too, but this guy doesn't need that much time. As long as he gets 20 minutes, he's getting a return. It's ridiculous. He had another goal and assist in the weekend. So Pedro's coming in with great fixtures. He plays Southampton at home. I said captaincy shout, but I wouldn't do that because I don't know about his minutes that much. But he's a potential captaincy shout this week. And then obviously, man like Rogers, who's gone for Bukayo Saka, who seems to be back in form now. Another player that I thought he's not gonna be that explosive this season, due to the fact that the way Arteta was playing, there was no Odegaard, and Arteta it seems like in his old season he would play a bit more attacking football, and it was more of like trying to get as many goals as possible. Whereas this season, to start the season, I didn't get that vibe. It was more too defensive of a play style from Arteta. But now that Odegaard is back, it seems they're going back to the old ways, which is to play attacking football, and they are scoring like 3-4 goals, and they literally scored 3 versus Forest, which is a good defense. So quite impressive. And then he's got West Ham next. So it's a great fixture. I didn't want to pass on that. So I've taken a -4 for Bukayo Saka, and he's probably going to be a captain shout too. So we'll get into that anyways. This is it, guys. I've got 2.7 million in the bank. Squad value around 102.9 to 2.8-ish. So yeah, I mean, I got a lot of money to work with. I could get Trent if I want to. I could upgrade one of my midfielders. So there's a lot I can do with this money. And yeah, man, I just feel at peace now. Like every week hoping for Haaland to return, and he doesn't, and then he just ruins your weekend. It's over with, So yeah, let's move on to the next slide, which we have the fixture analysis for these 3 players that I bought in my team. So as you guys can see with Arsenal, they play West Ham, United, and Fulham. United's at home, and then you got Fulham, Everton, Palace, Ipswich, all the way up to game week 13 to game week 18. All these fixtures are actually in London. So that means like they're within no London, like they're not too far away. They're like the only time I think they're going outside of London is when they play Brighton. So it's basically in game week 20. So during this busy Christmas period when there is midweek fixtures coming thick and fast, like Arsenal not traveling that much. So it does help Saka and his appeal because he's most likely playing most of the games at home. Plus, he doesn't have to travel. So there is a bit of security in his minutes. So I do like him because of that. And then you got Pedro with Southampton, Fulham, Leicester, Palace, West Ham, Brentford. The next 5 fixtures or 6 fixtures are insane. I literally did that transfer literally early as well. I didn't even care. And then you got Jackson, Villa, Southampton, Tottenham, Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, Palace, Bournemouth, Wolves. Holy shit. Like, even if he gets his 4th yellow, I don't mind. Like, I'll have enough squad depth to be able to bench him. Like, I just hope he's available for Southampton and Tottenham because those 2 fixtures he's going to eat. Like, I hope he gets like yellow card around Brentford game, and then I don't mind him missing Everton because Everton's gonna park the bus. I don't see him doing that effective on a team parks the bus. So regardless, I think there's enough upside for me to go there. Obviously, a big shout out to Cunha, of course. He's on my plans, not this week, potentially next week for Chris Wood, which we'll get to next section. I'm most likely going to line up with Pedro, Jackson, and Cunha come game week, 14. So we'll see. Let's move on to my game week 13 team selection. So here we have Sanchez starting at the back. It's been again another big disappointment considering the last freaking minute. Dumb mistake by a defender. So listen, like these Chelsea guys, man, I wouldn't get a single Chelsea defender. I regret it. I'm looking to take him out. Probably, potentially get Raya in, but I don't have luxury transfer right now. As you guys can see, I've already used all my transfers, taking a hit as well. So I'm not looking to invest in the back at the moment. Whatever defenders I have, I'm going to work with that unless there's injuries or suspension. And then you got obviously Gabriel, West Ham at home, great fixture. Sorry, West Ham away, which is a great fixture. Hall with Palace, good fixture. The Konate with Man City is a bit of a tough one. But again, the way City are playing right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool keep a clean sheet. However, I do need to mention something though with Gabriel and Konate. They did both get a knock in the Champions League. So there could be a bit of doubts. And I can't wait to listen to freaking Arteta's press conference. I'm never going to watch it because there's no point. But I do hope they both should be fine. And then obviously you got the more King Salah. I don't know why I don't have my captaincy armband on him. Like, he might punish me again. But I do think that Man City, like, they have to show some respect to Liverpool based on the way they started the season. And I do think that potentially Salah might get, man-marked and they might plan to take him out of the game because pretty much everything is coming from his side for Liverpool. He's basically creating, scoring, everything. Like, the form that he's in, he's got 8 double digits already this season. We're already in game week 13. Like, that's insane. So Salah definitely could be my captain, but I'm not 100% set on that yet. I'm currently flipping between Palmer, like any of the midfield 4 could be a captain, like Palmer, Mbeumo, Saka. Any of them could be a captain this week. This is one of the weeks I think you can go differential again, but going against Salah, man, it's just like this guy, bro. Would you be surprised if this guy gets a brace versus C? I wouldn't. Like, based on the way Guardiola played in the Champions League, 3-4 big mistakes, which led them to literally, concede 3-4 goals. Like, yeah, man, it's looking rough right now. And obviously Palmer with Villa at home, they're going to play high line. Palmer could be feasting. He's definitely a potential captaincy shout, but obviously he's not been informed recently. Another thing to mention with Chelsea, when they start the game with Lavia and Caicedo, Palmer does tend to be a bit of a less attacking threat. Whereas when they play Enzo Fernandez with Caicedo, he does have a bit more space and he does like to get the ball and, do his thing, shoot from outside the box. And Enzo does defer to him and it does help him because Enzo is a creative midfielder rather than a defensive midfielder. And I also noticed that Palmer does drop quite deep as well. And I don't like that. So that's one of the reasons why it's kind of putting me off with Palmer captaincy. But this week it could be anyone. And then you got Mbeumo Leicester at home. A lot of people are talking about taking Mbeumo out, but I don't think this is the time. You have to keep him for at least this Leicester fixture. And then potentially look for a replacement, which could be Bowen, Mitoma, Kulusevski, or if you have money, all the way up to Saka, or even Son if you don't have them, right? Obviously, you got Saka, my new addition to the team, who's got West Ham away. Currently does have my captaincy armband, but I don't know if we will be there for sure come the game week 13 deadline. Obviously, tune into my deadline stream to know who I'll be captaining. You've got Jackson, Villa at home. I'm expecting big things from him. They're going to play higher line, and you got the likes of Madueke, Enzo, Palmer, like Neto. All these guys are going to feed him, like absolute quality behind him. and Pedro Southampton at home, and another captaincy shout. To be honest, if he wasn't a mixed out, he would definitely be one of the one of the cards for captaincy this week. And then of course Chris Wood, another captaincy shout. Like there's so many differential captains you could go this week, but I don't want to go too crazy. So yeah, the team looks good on paper, man. But like as you guys saw last week, it's not how it looks good on paper. It's about what they do on the pitch. Ultimately, I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Wood, Pedro, all of them blank, because that's just how it works sometimes. FPL is just a luck-based game, and there's so much variance involved. You never know what could happen. But I'm still optimistic. I'm hoping that I'll get a green arrow, hopefully, because I did take a hit, and I do need a big score this week, if I'm being honest. And on the bench, you got Fabianski, who's got Arsenal at home. I'm not going to start him, although he did keep clean sheets back-to-back games now. And Sanchez is not doing anything. I might as well play Fabianski at this point. This guy Sanchez is useless. And then you got Semenyo with Wolves. He can't play because he's got suspended. And then Burgess and Greaves. Greaves should be back from injury, but we'll see. If there's any doubts with any of my defenders, most likely Burgess will come in. So we'll see. This is how I'm lining up, guys. So let me know what you guys think. Let's move on to the next section where we look at the Rob TFPO's projected goals and clean sheet odds for game week 13. So from looking at this at first, I could see that obviously Brighton has quite a bit of a high odd for clean sheet. So if people are looking for defenders, maybe Van Heck is a shout. Estupinian is there as well, but he's a bit of a rotation risk. And they also are quite high for projected goals, like they play Southampton. Southampton did score 2 lucky goals versus Liverpool. So there's a potential that Brighton keeps a clean sheet at home. But again, I don't see upside in defensive transfers. So I would probably, unless you have to make a defensive transfer, I wouldn't make one. And then you have Palace, Newcastle. It could be a bit of an even game. I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle concede. I mean, I can't believe how good they made West Ham look. Like West Ham are not that good. Like Newcastle really disappointed me. Like they made West Ham look like they are back. That game is a cagey one. I'm hoping for the best for Lewis Hall, who did look quite attacking versus West Ham. And then you have a Wolves Bournemouth. Cunha could feast again. Bournemouth are conceding for fun, if I'm being honest. So Cunha owners, Larson owners, Aitnori owners should be pretty pleased. And then you got obviously Evan Nilsson, who looked really good as well and was unlucky to not get any goals. And then Chelsea with a surprisingly a high clean sheet odds. I don't know about if I agree with this, to be honest. I can see easily Villa scoring versus Chelsea. And then they got obviously Fulham. They also have a surprisingly high clean sheet odds. I don't see either of this team keeping clean sheets. You have Brentford, Leicester. I hope Mbemo can face this game week, man. Like, I hope so. They also got high for clean sheet odds. And it's good to mention that Leicester also sacked their manager. They're hiring, former United manager now, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Look, that could be a new manager bounce, but I still think Leicester doesn't have the personnel to, keep up with Brentford. And Brentford at home, they scored over like 25 goals this season already. I think 21 to 25 goals, something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get more goals versus Leicester. Wissa owners and Bimo owners should be feasting. And then you got Forest and Ipswich. Forest are surprisingly, they only projected to score 1.80 goals. I thought they would be a bit higher, but Forest don't score that many goals, to be honest. And Ipswich, they were really impressive versus United last week. So there could be a potential upset. You never know. Forest has not looked like themselves in recent weeks. And it's also important to mention that Wood did get benched versus Arsenal, but I just think that's due to the international travels. He did play for his country quite a few minutes. So I think that's why he got benched, but he should start versus Ipswich. And then you got West Ham and Arsenal. Arsenal are projected to score one of the highest for odds for clean sheets, as well as like their 2.15 for attacking as well. Like they could get a couple of goals. Like their attack with Odegaard is insane. So definitely target Arsenal. Potentially double, triple up right now. I don't mind you getting with the one of Gabriel or Saliba. And then obviously get one of Odegaard, Saka. Any of them should be a good shout. And then obviously you got United with high clean sheet odds as well, which makes sense. Everton doesn't score any goals. Shout out to DCO, who can't finish his dinner to save his life. And United are also projected to score 2 goals. So we'll see. We'll see what Amram is cooking. His second game now. I'm excited, to be honest. First one was okay, not too impressive, but he only had 2 or 3 training sessions. And then finally, Liverpool versus Man City, the big game. This is a huge one, I'll be honest. Like the way Liverpool look versus Madrid, like it makes me think that City are in for a trouble right now. Like they could get absolutely destroyed, or it could be a cagey game or a 1-1, something like that. I do expect Liverpool to beat City though. We'll see what happens. I do have Konate and Salah. I'm hoping for Liverpool to give a clean sheet. and destroy City, to be honest, because I have no City assets anymore. So yeah, I hope this helps, guys. This is it. We're gonna wrap it up for game week 13. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And see you next week. Peace out.